Hey, what up guys? G-Dog-Casey here, bringing you my new UFC Undisputed 3 career series. I have scrapped Jack Damage Hayes. He is done. Just not that happy with how he turned out. So now I have created a lightweight. You can see him on the right here, Mr. Victor Savage Wright. And you're going to quickly see what type of fighter he is. He is going to run up, he's going to get a clinch, he's going to do a throw, and then he's going to do a submission. And as you see here, quite effective in the first fight of his career. Now, I really do have to admit something though. I'm ashamed to say I've lowered the difficulty to experienced, and almost instantly I've regretted it. But, you know what? I mean, I'm just going to go with it. Who knows? Maybe at least now I can actually get a fighter to a title, you know, because I was having a hell of a time doing that with Jack Damage Hayes. So, I mean, I'm a little bit ashamed about it, but at the same time, it'll be cool to get up into those real high ranks and get to see my walk-up and my, like, call-out music and all that kind of stuff. It'll be pretty cool. Assuming that I can even get that far. I mean, you know, it's been pretty easy so far, but yeah, it's, we'll see how it turns out. And if I do get up there and I win a title and I can defend the title and stuff like that, and if I go undefeated, which might be unlikely, but at the same time it's kind of possible, then, you know, I will definitely on my next series, I'll put it back up to advanced and I'll just deal with it. So you can see here the second fight, again, same thing, going in, doing the throw, starting the submission, and just ending the fight right off the bat. Some of you might appreciate the fact that I have put all the WFA fights in this one video. Doing that because, honestly, nobody really cares about the WFA fights. So in that sense, you can probably just skip this video if you don't want to see the rest. But if you do, then you don't have to click from video to video. All the WFA fights are going to be in this one video. Nice long 18 or 19 minute video. And you can see all his fights. Basically all his amateur fights, if you will. And then the next video will be his first ever UFC fight, and we'll just get started in the UFC just from there. Because yeah, like I said before, these fights just generally aren't all that exciting. Usually they're way too easy. Like with Damage Hayes, you know, it was like 3-minute videos watching me go up and take like 50 seconds to knock the guy out, and that was it. And it's essentially the same thing in this series, although now that it's on a lower experience level, or sorry, a lower difficulty level, you know, we could expect that a little bit more, especially in the WFA. So, putting them all together here. Now, this fight here actually proved to be slightly challenging. You'll see that he actually managed to break out of the first submission attempt here. So, you know, it's not like I'll be able to just get the first submission every single time. I will say also that at this moment, as I'm casting this video, I have done a couple fights in the UFC, and they have been significantly tougher than this. So, you know, the excitement will come, I hope. I mean, you know, we'll have to see how it goes. But trying another, this looks like a bit of an ankle lock or a leg lock or whatever, and almost getting it here, but not quite. So, gonna have to go without the win, at least so far. So the style of this fighter, he's a judo boxer, or a judo fighter, who basically, getting rocked there with a head kick. That was a little bit careless. You can kind of see at the lower difficulty level there, where he was swinging at pretty much nothing, and let me survive that. So hopefully that doesn't become too much of a factor. So yeah, back to Mr. Victor Wright. He is a judo fighter, specializing in throws from the clinch. You might have noticed with Jack Damage Hayes that was pretty much the only way he was able to get people down on the ground. And I feel a sneeze coming, so I'm really sorry if that happens in the middle of the video. Still escaping that one just barely. So yeah, this guy's a little bit resilient. And yeah, so he specializes in throws. I even went to a training camp and picked a particular throw that I liked, and leveled it all the way up to max. So it's like my favorite move right now. Technically, it's called my favorite move. It's not the only one I use, but I definitely use it whenever I'm in a bit of a pinch and I really need a takedown. I'll use that throw, and it seems to work pretty much every time. So that's kind of cool. And we may or may not see that in this video. If we do, I'll try to remember to point it out. So you can see this fight actually going to the second round, so that's interesting enough. You know, with Jack Hayes, they all ended in the first round. Rushing out with a knee here, because why the hell not? Usually you can get away with that. And yeah, back to the build of this fighter as he rocks this guy, and we'll be ending this fight shortly. He specializes in throws. What I've spent all my time training up, besides learning that particular throw that I can't remember the name of, and I'll point it out when I see it, he is working 100% on submissions and 100% on cardio, which is basically submissions. So every time I do this submission training thing, it increases my cardio a bit, and it increases my submissions as well as my ground grappling offense and defense. So when I'm on my back or on top, it increases that, which is really good because, you know, from the clinch I throw on the ground, and usually the fight is going to take place on the ground completely, with a few situations, you know, very situational moments where I'll actually do a little bit of striking. Now this is a WFA lightweight championship fight, so it might be a little bit interesting for you guys, so keep an eye on this one. I've noticed, because it's on Experienced, that there is still, I mean, because I have the shittiest striking possible because I'm only doing submissions, right? But you can see right here, look at that. That was such a sick little combo. You know, the striking is still actually doing a pretty good job, even though I have really shitty striking. Now, that might change in the UFC when the ratings become much more different, when I'm fighting like 89 overalls and I'm only 70 overall. You know, they might actually be able to stop me from striking with them. Now, at this point, I was starting to get a little bit tired of winning the fights like so early in the match. I figured I would try to set up some sort of long-term plan as well. Now, we're taking quite a bit of shots here. That was a little bit dangerous. This guy that I'm fighting against is quite a beast for a lightweight. You can see he looks so much bigger than me. Yeah, so the long-term plan, and there you go. That's the throw right there I was talking about. It gets me right into side control and ready right away for a nice submission, a Kimura, sometimes an arm triangle, different things here, and we will tap him out with that one. So nice submission there. And we are now the WFA lightweight champions. And I'll talk about the long-term strategy as we go on. I guess for now I can talk about why I decided to go with lightweight. So I always knew that UFC existed, right? Like, obviously I've heard about it. I'm talking about quite a few years back now, like maybe 3 or 4 years. I decided that I would actually be interested in watching some of it. So what I did was I went online and I looked for some UFC that would be interesting. And I found out that they had this reality TV show called The Ultimate Fighter. And I saw that Season 5 was the most popular one at the moment whenever I was looking. So I went and I downloaded the entire season and I watched it. It was a really awesome season. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out because it was really interesting. And it had a lot of cool parts to it, including how the two coaches, BJ Penn and Jens Pulver, absolutely hated each other. It was really neat seeing them have to live in a house together and, you know, arguing all the time. And knowing the whole time that at the end of the season they were going to fight. That was pretty awesome. Also, some of the fighters had a lot of really good personalities, including my all-time favorite fighter, Nate Diaz. He was on that show. Nate Diaz is my favorite fighter of all time, no doubt. And I really wanted to fight against him. Not to mention Gray Maynard was on that show. Joe Lozon was on that show. And a very funny Gabe Rudiger was on that show as well. You might, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you should check it out because it's hilarious and it's really good. So yeah, I figured, you know, the lightweight division is the one that I know the most. So I'll do a fighter in that one. So that way when I'm fighting specific fighters, I can actually tell you about them if you don't know anything. So continuing on in this fight commentary here, we are defending our belt for the first time and doing that signature throw again, landing big knees. Talking about my my long-term plan here is basically get them on the ground and knee the shit out of their ribs just over and over again. Landing big knees. I don't even have very good ground and pound. Like, it's probably the worst possible, like what you start out with. But it's good enough when you're landing like 15 to 20 knees at a time. Then just get up, get your energy back, go in, do another throw, and land those knees again. The effect it has on their stamina is insane. So you'll see more in the future when the fights get a little bit tougher. I'll be utilizing that to try to secure some easy wins, or at least some secure wins. You can see here, it looks like there's absolutely no way I'm going to miss this submission. And I think we're going to wrap it up here. Yep. Tapping him out with another arm triangle. Seems to be our go-to submission type. But we have won more fights with different types of submissions, including like knee locks, arm bars, guillotine chokes, and Kimuras. So doing very well here in the WFA, which is to be expected. I mean, considering it's on experienced instead of advanced, if I were to lose here, I'd be pretty embarrassed. But we'll see. As much as annoying as losing is in this game, I still would like to at least lose one or two in Victor Wright's career, just to show that at least it's somewhat difficult. I don't want it to be super easy the entire way through. We'll just have to see. And like I said, if it is, then promise that the next series I'll increase it up again, because, you know, nobody wants to see it being this easy from start to finish. So here we are, going for another title defense, landing a big knee off the start, and just trying to trade a few strikes here. Looking like we're going to rock him this early, but deciding to go with the clinch instead and throwing him to the ground, that signature throw, and getting into the mount position very quickly. This time just going for body shots. Or, okay, yeah, here we go. Going for body shots, because why the hell not? We're not much of a striker anyway. We're not going for fancy knockouts. Even if I have them rocked, I'm going to go for the submission instead. So this is all part of the plan, hitting the body, getting them tired, making it much easier for them to get rocked in the future and tap out. I don't know if you can hear the crowd in the background, but they're chanting for my opponent. I can't even really tell what they're saying, but they want him to win, and he's the one getting his ass kicked. Here you can see with the rib shots just over and over again, constantly using all my energy on it, because, you know, I'm not feeling very threatened by this guy at all. And then, you know, finding out that I'm out of energy, just going to sit on top and try to maybe get some energy back that way, while trying not to let him just punch me in the face. And this is where I'm starting to think that the experience difficulty level is kicking in again, because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to land that many shots without being reversed or, you know, put in any sort of trouble. Just choosing to get off him because I was a little bit bored. Wanted to do a little bit of striking, and we're just owning him with these quick jabs. Couple big hooks there, going back in to the clinch, and gonna land a throw here that's gonna rock him just from being thrown on the ground like that. Going right for the arm bar, and pretty confident that I will land this one as well. You can just see the difference between my submission meter and his. It's pretty much impossible to fuck up. So yet another title defense. Let's see, there's going to be one or two more fights, I believe, but I didn't want to leave any out, so we will carry on and check them out. And there's Victor Wright in his victory pose yet again, wearing the championship belt, winning every single fight by submission so far. And meanwhile, racking up quite a few extra cred points for finishing with like submission of the night and stuff like that. So looking at another title defense against a 31-year-old Arnold Parker. Oh yeah, you might have noticed too that Victor Wright is Australian. I felt like going with something a little bit different than the regular Canadian stuff. Coming out with like a flying left hook and just pounding the hell out of him. Taking a Superman punch there. But that's not too much of a concern, as we're going to slam him down to the ground again, I believe. Yep, there it is. Going with these body knees. This is just so much fun to pound the hell out of his ribs. Getting reversed into the guard, and, you know, since we've already landed a lot of body shots, it's pretty simple to get into a more favorable position right off the bat. More big knees to the body. And you can tell already that this guy pretty much doesn't stand a chance. Just doing as much damage as possible because it's fun. And usually when I run out of energy, I just decide to sit in a position like this for a while, because you can get your energy back. But getting stood up by the ref doesn't really matter either, because this is the best way to get energy back, is just kind of back up, do a little taunt here, and let my energy come back that way. Here we are, ready to go back into the fight, throwing a couple strikes here, jabs and crosses, a hook here and there, and a nice takedown. Moving into the full mount. I think we're going to land some more body shots here. Oh yeah, there we go. Big hooks to the ribs. And he's not even blocking them. He'd rather take them than get hit in the face. You can see we've wasted pretty much all our energy again. So, trying to rest up a little bit, defend our face, and get some energy back. There we go. And going for the armbar. And look at the side. Like, I take up like half the circle. Or the hexagon. So, you know, there's no way you can screw this up. And boom, the armbar completes, and we win another submission. You can hear them chanting my name a little bit in the background. Savage, Savage. Pretty cool. He seems to be quite the fan favorite. I've heard more chants for his name than Jack Hayes already, even in a WFA. So there's going to be one more fight in this video against Alfonso Mayer. This is our last WFA fight. I wanted to do quite a few because I'd already chosen to put them all in one video at the time of starting this recording. And so I just wanted to do as much as possible because I wanted to get more training time, pretty much, to get my attributes up and be able to take on some of those UFC fighters. And here we are, just pounding the hell out of this guy right from the start. And see, instead of going for like more punches, I'm going right for the armbar, or right for the ankle lock, sorry. And it looks like I'm not going to lose it, as boom, he taps out instantly. He did not come to fight. And we have defended our belt one last time. So stay tuned for the next episode because we are going into the UFC. I hope you like this idea. And from the UFC on, there will be one fight per video. So thanks again for watching, guys. Stay tuned. The next one's coming up soon. See ya.